understanding the controversy around the Supreme Court decision on elections. On Monday, the Supreme Court of Pakistan passed a judgment stating that elections in Punjab be held on the 14th of May, and we're seeing an already contentious issue take the shape of full-blown crisis as the Federal Cabinet, dominated by the ruling party PDM, is openly rejecting the decision. The ruling coalition of the PDM and its opponent, Imran Khan's PTI, have been at loggerheads with regard to the election since PTI resigned from the provincial assemblies in Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The Supreme Court's verdict on Monday has deepened the divide, and while we don't hold the legal expertise to comment on the sanctity of the decision, we're looking at how the decision was reached and why it has been the subject of controversy over the past month. Let's break down how the case has proceeded and why either side is able to make a case in favor of or against the judgment. To begin with, it's important to note the decision to take up the issue was a suo motu action, and for those of us not well versed in legal jargon, it means the Chief Justice took up the issue on his own instead of a party filing the case, taking up the matter as he deemed it necessary of the Supreme Court's attention. The second issue relates to the constitution of bench that would preside over the suo motu hearing. Originally, a 9-member bench had been chosen by Chief Justice Atta Bandyal, but the final verdict has been passed by only a 3-member bench. Of the original 9, 2 judges recused, that is, excused themselves from hearing the case. Then another 2 were removed by the Chief Justice. This 5-member bench then passed a verdict to hold elections with a majority of 3-2. A judgment on holding the elections in May was passed, but has since been subject to heavy debate between people on either side of the political divide, as the 2 judges who were removed agreed with the 2 members of the 5-man bench that passed the verdict. PTI then filed a petition to the Supreme Court to enforce its decision. The case was to be heard by a 5-man bench. Since then, 2 more judges from this 5-man bench have recused. Not surprisingly, the government considers that the final judgment was passed by a 3-man bench in principle, as opposed to the original 9 that were selected to hear the case, and looks set not to adhere to the decision by the Supreme Court. While legal experts argue that the Constitution makes it clear that elections be held within 90 days after the dissolution of assemblies, the process through which the final judgment has been passed by the Supreme Court has added to the political crisis. While PTI celebrates the decision, the coalition government is adamant on requesting the formation of a full bench to review the case. So unfortunately, over the coming days, we're only likely to see the crisis deepen. Stay tuned as we keep bringing you updates. I'm Usama Nizamani, and this was your Daily Dispatch.